views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try when...
Hello, this is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. Today's special guest is Joseph Townsend, and he is an entrepreneur. He's running for office. We're going to chat about that. So, how old were you when you first became interested in politics, and why?
So I first became interested in politics in high school. So one of my favorite classes in high school was always the history class. I had some good teachers that would always engage you with current events and things like that. So, and I know, so one of the things is I remember a debate between Bob Dole and Bill Clinton at the time, and they were discussing education, and Bob Dole was very big on, you know, kids being able to choose their school with vouchers and things like that, and Bill Clinton was opposed to it. And then I also remember, you know, the abortion being an issue in the debate, and Bob Dole being strongly pro-life and Bill Clinton being pro-choice. So I knew my convictions even at the time, even though I was, you know, in, you know, middle school during that election, and I knew that that I was pro-life and supported school vouchers and kids, and no matter your zip code, being able to go to school in the school of your choice. So so that was when I became definitely active. And then when I was able to vote, I was very active in terms of you know, different candidates and things like that that supported my values.
So what political party did you join?
I'm definitely a Republican. So and I would go beyond that and say I'm definitely not opposed to challenge incumbents that might not be conservative. So even in the Republican Party, you do have more moderate candidates that you know, might not think that abortion's an issue, or not be willing to take a strong pro-life stance. So so I'm definitely a Republican, but I'm definitely a conservative Republican. So.
And over the years, with whom have you worked for in the political arena?
So there's a lot, but we'll say locally, I was definitely big on making sure that tried to help Tim Smith beat Tom Henry last election. I was big in the Wendy Davis campaign for judge, who was running against a lot more liberal candidate than she was at the time. I mean, Ivan Hood is a friend of mine who ran for city council at large in 2015. And so, actually that was 2011 actually for his race. So, so yeah, I mean, I'm in, you know, Jim Banks, you know, running for Congress and now running for Senate. I think he's definitely the best option in that race, and I'll definitely be, you know, do everything I can to make sure that he wins that race.
So over the years, while being in politics, what have you learned, picked up, so to speak?
So I've definitely learned that that there's a big difference between the two parties in terms of our beliefs, but then I've also learned that there's definitely a difference within our own party as well. I mean, you have a lot more moderate Republicans, which a lot of times the term rhino comes into play. You know, what people that run as Republicans that might not actually be Republicans, they run just to win elections. So
In name only?
Yeah, Republicans in name only. So yeah, there's a lot of those that you have to deal with. But in the end, voters usually get it right and realize who the true conservatives are in our eyes. So.
When we first met 4 years ago, you were running for office in Fort Wayne. What was that?
It was city council as well. So city council is the only position I've ever ran for. It's the only position that I've been interested in. So, there are some candidates, especially the person that I'm running for in the Republican primary. It's his third election in 3 years. So he's ran for 3 different offices in 3 years. So he's definitely job hunting. And that's definitely something that I've stuck with, is that I've only ever ran for city council.
So far.
Yeah.
Between politics, what other positions have you had?
So that's an interesting question. So before last year, I was working 2 to 3 jobs at a time.
Wow.
Saving up money in the stock market and cryptocurrencies, which is like Bitcoin and things like that. So between 2017 and 2021, I worked at the hotel, and then I also worked at Rent-A-Center. I was a manager at Rent-A-Center. And then in between there, I actually served at Kodo as well. So I was working 3 jobs at a time, and didn't have much free time, but I was working 3 jobs at a time, saving up a good amount of money through hard work. And like I always tell people, I was making less than $20 an hour most of my life, and still able to save up money through that. So so anybody can do that. And through saving up that money, I was then able to, in March of 2022, able to buy a hotel. So yeah, I mean, it is possible. And through even making less than $20 an hour, it's possible through hard work and strong, smart investments and things like that.
So you are the owner of which?
So the Best Western Luxbury Inn, which is right by the Kroger of Coventry, the Don Hall's Tavern there. So yes.
Is it big?
Yeah, we're 93 rooms, so we're one of the bigger hotels at that exit. There are there's only one hotel that's bigger than us in terms of 2 hotels that are bigger than us in terms of the amount of rooms at that exit. So.
You're an inn?
We're a hotel.
A hotel, okay, I thought you were an inn. Sorry, my error. So, being a businessman, what can you bring into the world of politics?
So up until a couple weeks ago, I would have never thought about this aspect of it, but a lot of people have raised it with me, is that so right now we're in a very heated time, especially in Southwest Allen County, with a lot of the things that are going on at Homestead, with the racial divide and everything like that. And a lot of people have approached me mentioning the fact that as a business owner, as somebody that doesn't look at race or doesn't look at anything, I just hire the best people. So as a business owner, I'm able to help with some of the racial divide that's going on, because I'm willing to hire whoever. I just look at who the best qualified person for the job is. And I employ all walks of life and everything like that. So as a business owner, you can try to sort of help with some of the tension going on, that is, a lot of it might be unwarranted, or just people not realizing what's going on, or that not being heard, so just somebody that will be willing to listen to all sides of it and come up with a better solution, and as a negotiator, a lot of times, like with Red River, the Red River disaster should have never happened, because we should have been willing to negotiate for a better deal while also asking for the best service possible as well. So as a business owner, you're always trying to get the best deal but get the best service as well. So
you're campaigning now again for city council of what district?
So I'm running for the 4th district, just so people know, when somebody runs at large, they're running citywide, which is what I did last time. The 4th district city council encompasses the Times Corners area, It encompasses the Boyd area that's not part of a Boyd area that's part of Fort Wayne. So some of Boyd is not part of Fort Wayne; it's in the county.
Oh.
But the Boyd area that's part of Fort Wayne is what's in the 4th District, and then Waynedale. So
Is it a big piece?
yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's one of the biggest districts in the city. So especially when it comes to Republican voters. So, but yeah. So basically, if your zip code's 46804. 46809, some of 46819, and 46814. That's part of the city. Those zip codes are in the 4th District.
It's in the southwest.
Southwest, yeah. So yeah, it's all Southwest. So
If elected, what changes are needed for our fair city?
So I would say definitely, especially when it comes to the 4th District. That's why I'm very passionate about running in the 4th District rather than at large. Because in the 4th District, especially when you look at the Waynedale area, a lot of it's been neglected in terms of you go there and it's very rare to see a sidewalk period there. So so they were very neglected when it comes to 100% downtown focus. People then forgot about Waynedale, or even in the Boyd area off Liberty Mills Road near the Walgreens there.
Oh, yeah.
I've known at least my brother there has been hit riding a bike by a car there. So so I know that area in particular, we could definitely utilize a sidewalk there. But with 100% downtown focus, we forgot about other aspects of the city, and the 4th District is not downtown. And that's where a lot of the business is at. When you look at, Waynedale, there's a lot of businesses. You have Bunn, you have, Curly's Bar there that's very successful. Yes Automotive. You have a lot of places that are successful in the Waynedale area, and with 100% downtown focus, those places are neglected. And so we need 100% focus on all aspects of the city, not just downtown.
So is it basically business or residential, or both your boundaries in the district of 4th District?
No, so I mean, yeah, it's definitely both. I mean, there's a lot of residential in the 4th District, the Boyd area. I mean, a lot of families live in Waynedale. So I mean, yeah. So we're lucky that we have a lot of businesses, but we have a lot of residential too. So
zoning is not too bad?
Yeah, zoning's not bad. Yeah.
You having any new buildings or offices coming in?
So there's a lot of opportunity in the 4th District for new development. I know even right behind my hotel, they're building another hotel. They're building a Hyatt across the street from us. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity, and when you look at our exit, we have the most hotels at our exit because that is where travelers stay. So travelers are going to stay off of the exit. So exit 302, travelers stay off of the exit because they're coming off the highway. So they're not going to get off the highway and then drive all the way downtown. So that's why we're very successful in terms of the business development and the hotel development at our exit. So
this is coming from the airport area.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, even people that travel, we're the closest exit from the airport as well. So there's no hotels at the airport, but you travel from the airport. Exit 302 is the first one you're going to get to, so you're going to stay at our exit as well. So yeah, we get a lot of airport travelers as well. So
Exactly. Being a 4th District City Councilor, what would your duties be?
So, I mean, that is up for debate on a lot of people, but my philosophy with it is to concentrate on the 4th District. So I will be a voice for the residents of the 4th District from the council table and push back on a lot of the crony capitalism and things like that that are, people that are not focused on their district. So, I'll say that, Sharon Tucker, as a Democrat, she does a good job concentrating on her district, which is the 6th district, and each district's councilman should be focused on their districts. But we run into a lot of situations where they're, manipulated by the Henry administration, to focus 100% on downtown, and it should not be that way. We should be focused on the neighborhoods in our own district as well, and try to get some of the funding into our district.
So do you need road repair or?
So in terms of road repairs, a lot of money has been put into that. They've done a decent job with that. Where our issue is in the neighborhoods, roads in the neighborhoods, and sidewalks in the neighborhood. So
Schools.
and schools. I mean, especially needing sidewalks near schools. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, a lot of kids, especially in the Fort Wayne Community Schools part of our district, which is the Waynedale area, the kids are there. If they're within a mile of the school, their bus isn't going to their house. And so, yeah, they're having to walk or ride their bike to school, and then they don't have the sidewalks to get there. So, it's just a big mess and something that needs 100% focused on. That we should be giving, the people in Waynedale pay just as much taxes as anybody else, but we're literally forgetting about them and concentrating on downtown, and that's wrong. So
Yeah, we need more school buses, especially for the kids when they walk home in bad weather or anyone can kidnap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's a school board issue. Unfortunately, City Council doesn't have any arena in terms of the school bus situation, but we can impact the sidewalks, that they at least have a safe sidewalks to go on. I mean, the fact that they don't even have sidewalks to go to and from school is not safe.
Not safe at all. How are you preparing for this month of May, political primaries?
So I'm knocking on a lot of doors, calling a lot of voters. I'm definitely willing to put the time and the money into running a successful campaign and mentioning the differences between me and my opponent. So yeah, I have no problem with that, and I'm very proud of the fact that that there are differences between me and even my Republican opponent. Because as a conservative, I'm very proud of being a conservative versus more of a moderate.
So how many places homes and residents, and do you go to a business to knock on doors, or just the residents?
So the businesses I've reached out to through more phone conversations. Like, I'm not going to go to a business and interrupt their business model.
Yeah.
But in terms of residences, I've definitely been knocking the doors, specifically Republican voters, and getting my message out there about conservatism and concentrating on their area and their neighborhoods rather than the buildings and the capitalism, the crony capitalism downtown that's happening. So
we mentioned before, but I wouldn't mind knowing again who you are running against.
So on the Republican side, the only declared candidate, or the only candidate that I will be running against that will be on the ballot, is Scott Myers. And so yeah, I mean, I won't say anything negative about my opponent. I'll just say that that he ran for the school board in 2020. Then in 2021, he ran for a Boyd Township trustee, and he was just elected in November for that position. So my argument would just be that one concentrates on what they were just elected for rather than look at the next position that's available. So there's talk already that when he's elected for this position, then he's going to look on for the to fill Jim Banks' congressional seat. So I mean, to me, that's just opportunist politics and something that I'm not a part of. So I will commit to. If I'm when I'm elected, to fulfill all my 4 years on city council and do a 2-year term limit, a 2-term term limit, so 8 years. So so I definitely plan on being there for 8 years and get out. So and go and continue in my private sector running a business. So.
So, if you're given the go-ahead in the primaries in May, what would your campaign plans be for November 2023 elections?
So I definitely want to to mention that there's a clear difference between, most likely Patty Hayes. I mean, she does have her primary opponent as well, but she was successful in the primary last time on the Democratic side. So, and she definitely has the money and the support to win the primary. So most likely it's going to be Patty Hayes. And there's definitely a clear difference between me and Patty Hayes. She's very liberal. So when it comes to a lot of issues, I mean, some of the issues that are national, they're trying to bring into the local arena, when it comes to gender neutral bathrooms, so that there was a push back when Karen Goldner was on city council to push gender neutral bathrooms. And so it is an issue, and Patty Hayes is very far left on all those issues. So I would definitely mention those issues and not be afraid to go after on those issues, just like I'm not afraid to go after the differences between me and even my Republican opponent, who is definitely much more moderate than me. I mean, he's associating with a lot of the people on the Republican side that are okay with marriage that's not traditional.
Not man and woman.
Yeah, so I mean, one of his big supporters is Taylor Vanover and the Vanovers, and they're very very supportive of gay marriage, and that is something that I've spoke out against, and he won't disenfranchise from them. He's actually accepted a lot of money from them.
So you're funding yourself?
I'm 95% self-funded. I mean, my business partner has given me money, and I've accepted money that people that reach out to me, but I'm not actively going out there and campaigning for money. So I'm able to self-finance as much as I need to self-finance.
So in November, if you are elected, you start in January, right?
Correct.
And what was your first job as a district councilor?
So the first job would be to choose the council president, and I can guarantee one thing, that because right now we have a 5-4 majority of Republicans on city council, but yet we have a Democrat president. So I can guarantee you that I would make sure that a Democrat was not council president. It's just absurd that the Republicans allowed that to happen. I would definitely make sure that a Republican was council president and council vice president. So
I like doing that. Bang on. What would you like to share with my audience? We're getting towards the end of our show.
I would just mention that I'm a hard worker. I've always worked 2 to 3 jobs at a time. I can definitely be a uniter in terms of a lot of the issues that are going on right now. I mean, if anybody watches my announcement, they would probably see the most diverse Republican Party they've ever seen, because that is what, as a business owner, I'm able to unite conservatives together, and I'm not afraid to go after the moderates in my own party and then the far left in the other party. So, that is definitely a battle we have right now going on between the more moderates and the conservatives in our own party. Thankfully, the conservatives usually come out ahead, but every once in a while, the moderates are able to disguise themselves as conservatives. But at the end of the day, you can look at somebody's record and see, like last primary season, I was definitely supportive of Tim Smith for mayor, while my opponent was supportive of John Crawford, who was pro-choice. And that's definitely a big difference, is that I'm willing to step out in primaries and make sure that the conservatives are elected.
So you do it diplomatically.
Yeah, so I definitely make sure that I go in. The primaries are where everything happens. So the primaries are the most important election that we have, and so that's why I definitely encourage everybody to get out and vote. I mean, our voter turnout is very minimal. So last primary in the mayor election in 2019, only a little less than 4,000 people voted. So in a district where that number should be 7,000 to 8,000, only 4,000 Republicans showed up to vote. So I would definitely encourage a big voter turnout. I mean, the more conservatives that show up to vote, the better. And I'm very confident that they will choose me as the conservative candidate. So.
Well, thank you, Joseph Townsend,
Yeah, no problem.
for being on my show. And I'd like to thank you, audience, for being a part of my show as well. God bless you now. We'll see you next week. And thank you, Joseph Townsend.
Thank you.
Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above. So until we meet again, Godspeed, my love. God is with us always, and for the rest of